This is Abundantly Clear, a Malorie Nicole podcast designed to help you further understand the concept of abundance and put it into practice to build the business and life of your dreams. We'll be breaking barriers of conditioned belief, the standard rules of marketing, and empowering you to achieve real success, allowing you to make a greater impact and live a fulfilled, purpose-driven life with ease. Welcome to the conversation, the stories, the science, and the synergy of living life abundantly clear. Now, on to today's episode.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Abundantly Clear. Time is the most expensive currency we have access to. How interesting is it that time is the most expensive currency? It's the most precious thing we have. Yet many entrepreneurs find themselves leaving their corporate jobs, leaving their 9-to-5s, and falling into the trap of expending all of their time in their business and shutting down their ability to really enjoy their lives. They no longer have hobbies, they stop exercising, they start spending less time with their families, and they go on less vacations and travel because they've started a business. This is a huge sign of a scarcity mindset. How, might you ask, if someone is spending so much time in their business that they love, that they could possibly be working from a place of scarcity? If they love it, it must not really matter that they're spending that much time in it, right? I don't think so. I think wrong. Because if time is the most expensive currency of all, and said person is doing everything possible to avoid time and to not give themselves permission to experience time to the fullest, then it only makes sense their avoidance of the most expensive currency they have access to means they're settling for something less. And that results in operating from a place of scarcity, that they actually aren't worth the highest, most expensive currency of all, and that they have to settle for something different. But there's so much to do, says the mind of an entrepreneur with a million-long line list of things to do and client fulfillment to take care of. I get it. I've heard it a million times. And I've also heard the newbie, and guess what? I've been the newbie that's just getting started and doesn't quite know how stepping away from the business is actually one of the biggest keys into making it highly successful and profitable. If you don't value your time, you don't value yourself. Yes, you entrepreneur that's listening to this, that's already ready to turn it off because you know you have so much to do today and you don't have time to listen to this episode, I want you to hear me out. If you don't value your time, you are not valuing yourself. And you might be thinking, but I love my business. I could spend all day long working on stuff. And I get that. There are weeks and moments where I feel that way too. But there are very few people out there that could really spend 10 to 12 hours a day working on their business that have also dialed in the process of making sure they're still eating meals regularly, sleeping a healthy amount of hours and nights, exercising, and still getting in some free time properly. And I'm not here to sugarcoat this. Most people do not have all this aligned that are working 10 to 12 hours a day. Most people that are working 10 to 12 hours a day are skipping meals, are missing quality time with their family, their friends, they're skipping events that they actually would like to go to, and they sometimes find themselves not able to enjoy healthy relationships because they're sacrificing their time over the dollar. The coincidence? When I see people slow down, move some things around in their schedule, and outsource as necessary to make sure they are doing things that keep them happy and fulfilled in their business, when they ask for help, almost 100% of the time, they see an up level in profit. Because when they're doing the things that they love in their business and they're valuing the time they're putting into it, they're working from a place of abundance. Because the baseline belief is that it gets to be easy. So almost 100% of the time, they see an up level in profit because when they're doing the things they love in their business and they're valuing the time they're putting into it, they're working from a place of abundance because the baseline belief is that it gets to be easy. Listeners, that is the truth. I see it in my own life and I see it with the clients that I work with. More work doesn't always mean more profit. So I leave you this week with this one question. Where do you need to implement a standard in your schedule so that you can really be living the life that you want? Nobody started a business because they wanted to become a slave to it. Be careful that you don't find yourself stuck in that place. You will never be able to get your time back. Until next week, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. As you put these concepts and practices into action, you'll begin to see the benefits of living an abundantly clear life. To connect with Malorie and other high performers, join the Abundantly Clear Entrepreneurs community on Facebook or visit Malorie-Nicole.com.